training maxes should look like a warm-up. When I say that, I know a lot of people don't understand where I'm coming from or what I'm saying, but I'm saying that as someone who has coached quite a few elite lifters, someone who also works with a lot of people who want to improve their physique. I'm 47 years old. I've been doing this a long time. And you guys have seen me do stuff like a 635 deadlift with a stiff bar, right? Not even a deadlift bar, in my late 40s. You've seen me do long pause benches, 365, heels flat, all that stuff, right? So when I'm saying these things, what I'm telling people is that there is no reason for your training maxes in the gym, and I don't care whether your goals are size, strength, to power lift, do whatever. There's no need for them to be crazy grindy, for you to pull things to get injured, or for them to be a particularly excessive strain. So if you look at all these lifts I'm doing, like these are all training maxes from about a 1 week block, right? And they're not that heavy for me, and that's the point. Every one of these people would look at them and go, yeah, you could have repped that. Exactly. Because a training max should be around, say 90% of what you're capable of doing. So if your max is 500 pounds, a training max, 450. But people say, but I could do that for 3 reps. Well, yeah, you could. But why are you trying to train to failure? Are you practicing training singles? Are you just getting used to lifting heavy weight? Are you trying to train neural drive? That's why we do singles. Right, because everything else you should be focused on getting bigger. And usually how you guys saw me train in the weeks where these were done, I came in and did these moderately heavy singles with good form, and then I came in and did a bunch of high rep work, a lot of even machine work, isolation work, focused on getting bigger. And I'm going to tell you guys, I have built guys who squat and deadlift 600 plus pounds using the same approach. Hey, you do not need to lift a weight in the gym to lift it on the platform. And it doesn't mean, you can come in and do heavy 5s that are all-out grinders. No, that also gets you hurt. Training maxes, we have to check our ego. Again, what you have to remember, as long as you hit the highest threshold muscle fibers and motor units on that rep, it will carry over to maxing. Okay, it will prepare you to max. It is just simply not necessary for you to go 100%. Even Matt Winning tells you guys that stuff. And he's like, he goes, you'll get just as strong and you won't get injured. And I'm not saying I agree with everything Winning says, but he tells you the same thing, just do 90%. Right? In other words, if you are capable of doing 500, 450 will have complete transfer. That's what they show in the lab. That's what we show watching elite lifters. Again, we need to be clear. People come in and break world records on a platform who didn't break the world record in the gym first. Okay, that should speak volumes, right? There's guys who come in and hit 1,000-pound squats who in the gym they don't. Now, there are people who do, and people are like, but this person did. Yeah, but what's their mileage going to be like? It's not necessary to do that. Again, a 90% will carry over. It will absolutely carry over when you need it to. And the thing is, ego lifting in the gym, it's not going to make you any stronger. In other words, grinding 500 because 500 is your max is still not going to improve your strength more than just doing 450. And they should look pretty. Notice what I did with those lifts. You guys can't see the full weight on the bar on the squat, but it was 435. Now we know I can squat more than 435. But it was good form. I sank it well below parallel, right? Kept everything tight and, just racked it and walked back over. Just practice. Same thing with that bench, flat back, wide grip, no wrist wraps. Notice there's no supports on any of this. Because you don't need it. Just training maxes, guys. Why do you need a bunch of supportive equipment? Are your knees and wrists and stuff not strong enough? Well, maybe you need to strengthen them. There's again, none of this is necessary. Hey, we do training maxes to train neural drive, to improve our strength. And then, everything else should be geared towards getting bigger, right? That is the name of the game. Now, in my case, because I'm training pretty much for improving my physique right now, that's all I need to do. That's enough to keep my peak strength up, right? And I'd use it as a warm-up. But for those of you who are doing it seriously, again, that's all you need to do. And I see this all the time. I see younger lifters, I say younger, I'm thinking 30. I get this with clients and other people, and they want to grind all these reps, and their form starts degrading, but then they get hurt, and they're like, now my shoulders hurt. Now my knees hurt. Now my back hurts. And it's like, well, why'd you grind that rep? Why didn't you just go lighter? Why didn't you do what I told you to do? All right? Again, all the super heavy stuff is fun and games till you get hurt. And again, super heavy being relative, right? To some people, what they saw me doing in these lifts as an old man for training maxes, they might think that's super heavy. But it is relative to your work capacity and what you're capable of doing. But my point is there's no reason for the ego lifting other than to feed your ego. Everyone wants to come in and they bounce benches off their chest, they squat high, hitch deadlifts, strap up and hitch deadlifts. Why? It's not making you stronger. It's not making you bigger. People are doing it to appease their ego. But the thing is, you got to learn to set that aside. Plus, you're not even impressing anyone. No one's impressed with a non-world class level lift that you grind it and scream and do it with bad form. Maybe a few kids on the internet, but that's about it. Okay? Come in and train properly. You'll get more mileage for it. And I would say to a lot of people who question that, do you want to be my age and be able to lift what you see me lifting with these? See me doing it pain-free? It's something you want to consider. Because how many of these guys who go so hard all the time are broken? Okay? How many of them are broken? How many of them are here for a good time but not for a long time? Right? They're just broken. And if you didn't get some world records out of it, I don't know why you subject yourself to that. Right? Why? There's no glory. And again, you could get just as strong by holding back 10% and doing everything clean and perfect and pretty. Again, this is something that took me a long, long time to realize, and it's just a bit of wisdom I'm trying to impart and share with others so that maybe save you guys some pain and suffering. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.